Joel and Lauren on, but we got a special guest on this week. We got Gus Ofili on. So, morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good
Morning,
morning.
morning. So, Gus, maybe you can quickly introduce yourself. Where are you at? What do you do? Help Joel and Lauren understand who you are, I guess.
Yeah, so my name is Gus Ofili. I'm a real estate investor and a real estate associate broker out of the state of Maine. I was originally born in Connecticut, came up here to live. I've been a real estate agent since the end of 2018. I've been investing since August of 2020. I think I've grew a sizable portfolio, that's taking care of me and my family currently. I'm a father, husband. I got 3 kids. I guess that's the general form of me. I love the cold weather. That's why I'm still up in Maine. I haven't moved away. Other than that, I'm just someone who loves to be in the space as far as real estate, and I love being an entrepreneur. So I guess that's the best thing I could say.
Okay, quickly, I want to give a shout out that Lauren should be streaming live on her YouTube channel. She got it
What?
connected. So, everyone, I'll put that in the chat. If you can, go jump over there, subscribe, hit the like button.
Nice.
We'll also get Joel's channel up there. But yeah, so I definitely want to dig in to kind of what Gus didn't know. I don't know, maybe went viral or blew up, got some discussion, but Gus posted something in our school community. I believe he also posted it on Facebook. So I'll quickly just say it says, I'm not out of touch. I paid the price, right? So I know Laura. Hopefully Lauren and Joe got a chance to take a peek at it.
Yeah.
But Gus, maybe you can talk about where that kind of post came from.
I think I just get sometimes being a nice person. And I don't know. Whatever I say today, I hope it doesn't come off in the wrong way. But I want to be honest. Since that's honesty is the best policy. You try so. I feel like you get to a point. You try so hard to make sure you're not coming off a way to where it starts to hinder you who you are. And then when people are asking for things or their expectations, or you hear like the same message time and time again, I find myself biting my tongue a lot. And I think something that just recently happened just kind of pushed me over the edge. That person can't see that post because they would have known it was about them. But I was just, it was the middle of the night too. And I just started going at it. And it was a lot of emotions and feelings as far as that. And I was surprised. What I was going to do in the morning, I was going to delete it. I just felt like there was something I needed to get out. But then after I saw the traction it got in the morning, I was like, oh, well, this is my post for the day. I'm just going to let it go ahead and rock out. But everything I said, I meant 100%. And it was good to get it out. And it was good to hear the discussion behind it.
Joel, Lauren, do you guys have anything you guys want to bring up about it, or what were your thoughts on it, or?
Well, I feel like we should let people know kind of what it says because I think it probably sounds a little bit vague to them. So I'll just give a little recap that
Oh,
it's,
nice.
yeah, people love to talk about how hard things are, how impossible it is to get ahead, how saving money isn't realistic. And then they'll look at me and say, I'm out of touch with reality. What you're really out of touch with is the sacrifice it takes to change your life. So that's like kind of I feel like the thesis statement of the topic of the discussion, and how you can look at where someone is right now and not really know where they've come from or what they've been through. And it's easy to judge someone where they are, um, and think like, oh, they must have been lucky or it must be nice to be that person, and not realize like actually they worked really hard and they made a lot of sacrifices for where they're at. And I think as like a real estate investor, I just don't know, especially in today's economy, can you even get to be a real estate investor without having some amount of sacrifice? I don't think that that's even possible.
Joel, any thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the post goes on to say, I think Gus was making what, $28,000 a year, maybe at some point. Does that sound right?
Yeah, and that was right out of college. So, you think
Yeah.
you're going to get this big paying job, and you know, you run into a situation where this is the only job available and I got to go ahead and take it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings about it. You know, the idea of I think one of the messages was just you spend a lot more energy on making excuses than actually putting the work in. And I look at it where if somebody's making, you know, income that's barely not even allowing them to save any money, you're barely getting by, and that's so many people. I think the bank rate study showed over 50% of Americans don't have $1,000 saved, and I equate it to it's our job to find the little bitty wins. You know, if you can save $10, if you can skip your Starbucks, if you can skip the one extra meal a week, or the little bitty wins stack up. And I think we all want to hit the home runs. We want to be able to buy the property today, but it's like you got to be able to have the little bitty wins, and those little bitty wins stack up over a month, a year, or even years. And so it's our job to find those wins and stack them. And I think that's the hard part, is that when you're 25 or 35 or whatever, it's just hard to be thinking about those little bitty wins, because you hear about all the headlines of people doing amazing things, but that's the end result. That's not the beginning of the journey. And I think that's the part that I talk to my clients about. Is like we got to start so small and find the wins.
All right, I just want to check because I don't know if people are commenting from Lauren's channel because it says paired. So I don't know if that's Joel's channel or Lauren's, but
Oh, it's mine.
okay, because I don't think,
Well,
yeah, I think so. Lauren, great job connecting your channel, but we got to be able to, we got to turn the comment feature because I
How
don't
do
think
I
I,
do that?
yeah, we'll worry about that next time maybe. But yeah, there's a feature to allow comments. But okay, good to know. But yeah, there is, and Gus does have a YouTube channel also, so there's his channel. He's not streaming on there yet, but we'll get him there. But if you can, jump over there, subscribe also. But yeah, I think this one was like I think Gus holds back a lot of times. Every time he's on the stream, he's always kind of worried about how people may take it. So I think a lot of times he's holding back. But this post, I think, really showed a lot of kind of maybe his feelings and his like he's saying, his honesty, and really putting himself out there, right? So we're talking about maybe in the school community and what Joe and Lauren are thinking about it. But like I said, on Facebook, it was also there, right? So you probably had more interaction on Facebook, right? Was there a lot more pushback on that side of things?
No, I heard a lot more agreements to it, so which I was surprised. That's why my thinking was I was going to delete it in the morning. So people were like, they agree and things along those lines, but how many people disagree? You start posting, and this is the type of society we live in. You'll see a few messages where people are like, I agree. Now the person who disagrees really doesn't want to go ahead and put anything on there. The person that disagrees doesn't want to message you directly, be like, hey, Gus, I think X, Y, and Z. I don't think people I don't think people have the balls to be honest with themselves anymore. When I write that, I want that to resonate with people who have been complaining for 10, 15 years about the same situations and have not changed any of their practices that they've ran into. When I wrote that and I talked about, I didn't go out. I mean, you could get a second job for 6 months, and the money you make from your second job, you could contribute that to some of the debt that you've got. Is that a solution? 100%? No, but I think it's a good way to the things that you're complaining, you're working to an end goal instead of sitting in a group of friends that are saying the same messages that you're saying. And now you're an echo chamber and you're still doing the same thing day to day. And I can't fake it anymore. I cut so many people off to cut those conversations off where, if, a new person comes around, my facial expressions are giving it. And now they think I'm a douchebag. But and the honesty is I'm telling them the truth. I'm like, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z. And then they'll go around, yeah, I met that guy, Gus. He's a dickhead. But you're the dickhead because you're being the good guy at the end of the day. And that's just my feeling about it.
I also want to quickly just remind people, I don't know if they saw or heard Zuber talking earlier this morning, but if you are in the school community, there is, I think they've been blocked already, but there was someone scamming people. They joined the community and was using Zuber's actual same profile picture and direct messaging people about Bitcoin investing. So make sure you don't ever send money through the DMs but Zuber did confirm, yeah, he's not going to send you anything about investing in Bitcoin or anything like that. But yeah, I think, like I said, this post was great, but I also think it's who you are, right? And I think even some of your other reels, Like we talked about it the other day a little bit. I don't know if anyone else saw it, but there was a reel about you saying, I think where you're at, right, is a lot of snow and it was cold outside, and you're just like, I'm not where I'm at, where I can just get out of here for the winter time in a sense, right?
Correct. I'm not making enough money to get out and be a snowbird yet. And, plus I got small kids. So, you know, I tend to speak where I'm at more than what I want to be or where I came from. And I think that connects to some people as far as, they want to hear the realness at the end of the day. They don't want to hear the fluff. They don't want to hear the same stuff. Oh, you can try it, just have faith that, you can have those things, but if you're not putting no work or effort behind it, what does that all mean? That's just bullshit conversation at the end of the day, in my own opinion.
Absolutely. I think so, Joel, Lauren, what would you guys say about that as far as, I mean, I don't know, I think I've only known you folks when I could probably say you folks are kind of successful in a sense, right? Or, maybe not at the end part of your journey yet, but definitely further along than a lot of people. But was there a lot of struggles when you folks kind of first started also too, like cutting back on things and kind of, uh, you know, maybe people now see you're out of touch, but how has the journey been for you folks? So maybe for you, Joel.
Yeah, I mean, I know when I was in my 20s and when I made $50,000 in a year, like that was cool, but I was still living with my parents and I was spending money. I wasn't saving a whole lot of money. And I grew my business and my career was evolving and making more money, and making six figures in the, I guess that was 2009, 2010 is the first time I made six figures, and like I was ecstatic and I was saving money, and but I was working nonstop. I just had that inner drive to want to just keep getting ahead, because I knew that 9 to 5 job, clocking in, clocking out, I was working at a bank doing mortgages. Like that wasn't for me to be sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day. Like that, I couldn't bear the thought of that. So I was like, okay, whatever I can do to get ahead and try to make as much money as I can, save as much money as I can, so that I can have that light at the end of the tunnel to get out of this. And here I am still doing it. I love it. But for me, it was that drive, because I knew I didn't want to be working till I was 70 or 60.
What about you, Lauren? Anything different? Kind of the same?
Yeah, I mean, I remember like this is like even before I was in real estate, when I was in college. I remember I wanted to travel, and I would like ask my friends like, we should travel, we should do a trip. And the first trip I took was to Southeast Asia, and I spent 2 months there. And in order to do that, I was in college, I was working. Um, I was working like multiple jobs. Like I had like a restaurant job, and then I would pick up like weird odds and ends job, like doing transcribing for people and different random things. And then I also would sell avocados, go around the neighborhood, pick avocados and sell them to the restaurant. And I remember my friends would just spend all the money they made on the weekends. They would buy new outfits. They would go out and go to restaurants and go drink and do all these things. And I was like, I had this goal. So I was focused on that. And I was just like, I really want to travel, and I need to save my money in order to do this. And so that means making a little sacrifice. And I actually even moved out of my house and moved into a house with this woman who needed like a live-in nanny, or just like someone to pick her daughter up from school. And I did that to save money on rent. So I feel like I had that drive before I even got into real estate. And that's what made real estate possible, is like having that mindset really allows you to be able to like have a goal and save and work for it, and have it be more valuable than the experiences that are presenting themselves. And I remember after I came back, my friends were like, I wish I could do that. That sounds incredible. And I was like, you could do that. And these are people that their parents are paying their rent and have way more of a leg up. So I feel like a lot of times we all have advantages, and sometimes it's hard for us to see that. And usually it comes down to not wanting to make the sacrifice necessary, even if it's like having that goal. If you're somebody who's in like a really bad financial situation, or you have kids, you're a single mom, like it might take you 5 times as long as somebody else, but if you stay focused, you could still achieve it. Like, it truly is possible for anyone. And sometimes it's also not even about saving money. Sometimes it's about getting around the right people. I know a lot of people who have money, but they don't have the drive or the energy. Like, you can bring something else to the table that isn't money if that's not the thing that you have. Like, read a bunch of books at night and educate yourself. And if you have time, there's somebody else who has money but doesn't have time. Like, I feel like there are resources all around, and it's a lot of times about being around the right people. It's not, nobody who's doing this is any smarter or any more like capable or has any special secret knowledge. Like, it just comes down to like taking that time to find that your edge, whatever that may be, and it's not always money.
Absolutely. And I think that's one of, Zuber's messages, kind of do the work, audit your network. And if anyone hasn't had a chance, I would definitely go check out Gus put together a great live stream for me on Sunday. Gus joined me with Kristen and also Welby Aseli. So I go definitely check out the replay of that from Sunday. If you guys don't know Welby, he definitely seems like he's yelling at you on social media when he's putting out his content, but his message is real, right? He is real, it's raw. And once you get past to maybe the tone of it, you realize that he is just speaking from the heart in a sense. But Gus, do you think sacrifice sometimes just another word for privilege that people don't want to admit?
Sacrifice is another word for privilege.
Yeah. Like people might say, "Oh, you're just privileged," or you must be nice, kind of thing, right? But you put in the sacrifice, right?
Yeah, because they sometimes people when they're meeting you, they may have meet you at chapter 10, and where you're at chapter 10 is you're somewhat got over the hump, and now to them, oh, this has been you your whole life. But if you would have opened the chapter 1, you would have saw what it took to get to chapter 10. So sometimes that goes mistaken, and they don't even ask questions about it. They just make assumptions out of first interactions, and then when people say, that's the tell-all when you first meet someone, that's not true. If I sit here and I met Mark and and I just judge Mark. If I just judged Mark for the team he liked, I would have been like, well, you've been a Bears fan all your life and this, that, and the third. But I have to ask questions. I got to get to understand Mark a little bit better to make a full opinion about Mark. So some people tend to not do that at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last time Gus will be on here, I guess.
The Bears played great, though. Their quarterback, he's going to be a superstar in the league.
I believe that too.
One of those throws he did where he did it off the back foot, that was a phenomenal throw.
Yep, absolutely. I totally agree. But yeah, let's see. Just Flavio, thank you for sharing Gus's channel again. Flavio is saying, yes, we got to get Gus some subscribers, so he feels the need to start live streaming also on his platform. But Joe, for you, like I said, same thing. You think people don't see that sacrifice, right? So sacrifice, another word for privilege.
I don't know. I don't get that type of commentary personally. At least to my face, I guess you'd say. But the excuses for themselves of why, I can't do this or I can't do that or I don't want to put the work in. All of the excuses just pile up with people. So I don't know. That's the thing that irritates me.
I feel like we shouldn't demonize privilege either. Like, privilege is not a bad thing in and of itself. It is a privilege. If you can recognize the privileges you have, like all of us are privileged. Like the fact that we are born in a country that like has running water and electricity and all of that, like there's, access to certain things that a lot of people don't have. Also, just access to the 30-year mortgage. That is something that is unique to the United States that I did not realize until I started talking to my friends in like England, Scotland, and other European places where I'm like, you have to refinance your primary residence every 5 years? That's insane. How do you even get ahead? And like the interest rate could be completely different and you lose your home. So I feel like we all kind of have privilege, and if we can recognize our own privilege, then I feel like that's like almost like a form of gratitude. Like, all right, I have these things going for me. Where can I like step up and um get where I want to be and recognize the things that I do have at my disposal. Um Rather than like kind of feeling more like a victim of like I never had any privilege. It's like we can all find that somewhere within our lives.
And don't get me wrong, right now I love the privilege that I'm getting throughout the community and the opportunities that I'm getting. You know what I mean? It's all, I'm still, getting comfortable with it. Hey Gus, we got you these sky tickets over here, blah 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 blah. You want to bring your family? I'm like, oh shit. So I just work hard and I get all this stuff that comes to me. But when I post something like that, I went from a spot where I'm hanging with a bunch of guys, they don't come from great backgrounds. So I adapt at that particular time to what the conversations were. We were more worried about let's go to the club and spend our last dollars. This is more the college time. I'm sure everyone had the same journey. Let's worry about women. Let's worry about this, that, and the third. Then you get out of college and I'm like, okay, now I got to focus on my career. But the guys I'm around tend to still want to focus on the same thing. So I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Because when I go to work, I'm not having these discussions. The discussions are a little bit different. So as you grow and your circles start to change, now you're having mixed emotions and feelings about how your old self used to be and that circle used to be. So now when you're having conversations, I'm like, hey, did you guys hear about potentially the new mortgage for 50 years? And everyone's like, yo, Gus, we don't want to hear that shit. I'm like, this is somewhat life-changing, you know what I mean? But that's not the conversation we want to hear. We're still talking about things when I was in my 20s, which is cool. It's cool to go back, but I guess I got a lot of responsibilities and I got a whole different outlook on life. I think that sometimes that part doesn't get talked about, is the evolution of a person. And it doesn't matter what background you come from, just evolving from where you came from or what you used to do into the new person. And I'm still trying to fight with it. And there's a certain demographic of people, they feel like I represent them to the highest level. And if I say something that could spark anything with them, I feel like they'll turn their backs on me. And I don't want that. But also I try to have these private conversations. Like there's a little bit more to it than what we were told since we were younger. And those conversations don't go well.
Yeah. One of my best friends I had for like 10, 15 years, we're not really that close anymore, partly because, I'd be like, when I first started learning about real estate, I was like, oh my gosh, you can live in a house for 2 years, rent it out for 3, then sell it, pay no capital gains. Like I was so excited about all of these things I was learning. And she would just be like, I would never do that. You have to move every 2 years. And I was like, that's what you heard out of all of that? I was like, I was talking about being retired in 10 years. Like, that's what you heard out of that. Like, you don't want to move every 2 years. So, yeah.
That's a great point. But looks like people are doing business also. Jim, the grumpy contractor, signed his refi docs with Joe yesterday. So congratulations. But also on that point, there is Jim's YouTube channel. He just finally got it kicked off the road. So the grumpy contractor. And for everyone in school, if you haven't seen, Jim is starting another accountability call on Sundays. I believe 10 a.m. Pacific. It's going to be a contractor bird type call. So people that want to know more about the contracting side, maybe have inspections put in there and people can give feedback. But Jim is kind of combining the one rental at a time and Coach Carson's rental property mastery platforms in one. So there's going to be a group of people probably from Coach Carson's side and the one rental at a side, one rental at a time community kind of coming together in that call, I believe. Let's see, anything else? Was there really live explaining how YouTube works, comments, algorithms? No, you just got to make sure you have the comments on. So that's the main thing. No, Jim Jim was asking about that. Yes. Let's see, Stan. Okay. Yeah, I think Gus one thing I think, like I said, I think it's number 7 on Zuber's rules, possibly the audit your network. I think that is the struggle that I've always had, especially being in the firehouse. It's kind of like a brotherhood, but you kind of touched on it, right? I guess maybe people you grew up with, or I forget how old are you right now, Gus?
Me, I'm 40.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
I mean, like that, like you were saying. So a lot of those people you were talking about, maybe in your college days, are you still close to a lot of them, or it's kind of faded away, or?
So my brother's been an entrepreneur since the get-go. Like since he's a chiropractor, he owns his own practice. He travels around the world. He's been telling me this. He's like, you need to cut these people off. They're holding you back and da 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 da. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, my brother's very stern. I'm like, yo, bro, you're a dick. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm sorry for my language, but I'm like, yo, this is why a lot of people don't like you. But then as you're still working on being an entrepreneur. I'm like, damn, he was right. They're taking me back from. Let me not say they're taking me back. They're putting me in a whole different space of thinking when I should be focusing on this. So that's what I would say to that.
To that point, it was kind of, I saw, whether you hate him or like him, but Andrew Tate was on Patrick Bet David yesterday, and there's some kind of controversy going on. Like Andrew Tate was at a club, and then they started playing some kind of music, right? And then so everyone's bashing on Tate, for putting himself in that situation, right?
Wait, what happened? He was at a club, and what happened?
He was at a club, and whoever the people he was with, and maybe the club owner, they all started playing certain music, right? And I guess you could say this music was, what was it, anti-Semite, or it was, I forget exactly what, but it brought attention to.
Song.
It was the Kanye West song
where he was saying he was pro Hitler. And his friends are Nazis. That was the basis of the song.
Yeah, so Tate's getting a lot of blowback from it, right? And he's like, I'm not here to apologize. I can't control what people do, right? My friend, but then Patrick Bet David was like, but what you can do is you put yourself in that situation, right? Like Patrick Bet David's like, if you guys called me up and said, hey, we're gonna go to a club, we're gonna do this, I'm not gonna come. But if you tell me, hey, we're gonna go have dinner, sit down, talk about business, it's like, I'll be there, right? So it's like, yes, these are your friends, and that's fine, but you also got to realize the situation that you're going to get into, right? So if you know that they're going to go to a club and do these type of things, that's the situation you're putting yourself in, right? So I think we all have a control at the end of the day of the situation we put ourselves in, whether who we want to surround ourselves with. That's your choice, but just remember, there's probably certain places you may not want to go with certain people, because what's going to happen, right? So it was interesting. Let's see. Yeah. What else? I want to say. Okay, so Gus, in that thing you said 6 months of discipline can change someone's life. What if it doesn't, though? What will we do there?
I think I at least think you're creating habits to be able to go ahead and move forward by, taking away some of the things that you see as important. I think I listed off buying a $5 coffee a day, taking that and seeing how that money, and you're able to use that money for things that may push you in another direction. Do that for 6 months. I don't think those habits just go away after the 6 months. I think now you're re-engineering yourself to know, the value of saving money, what's important, what's a need, what's a want. I think that's how long it changes. Even Zuber, as far as his weight loss journey, if he didn't put the 6 months in, he wouldn't have been able to lose that amount of weight moving forward, and then stay doing the same thing throughout a long period of time. So you have to be able to train yourself. I think 6 months is a good period of time. That's just me saying that. Doesn't mean that's what it is.
Hey, Gus, I have a question for you on just the journey.
Yes,
you mentioned in 2020 getting into real estate. What was the spark, or what was the inspiration of getting into real estate at that time?
So I became an agent at the end of 2018. I quit my job. I worked for Bank of America for about 7.5 years, and they were giving opportunities to guys that been there longer, was kissing butt. They were the good old boys. They were getting the opportunities. I'm kind of like a lone wolf. I'll take you down if it's one-on-one, but if you're in the pack, I tend to always lose in corporate America. So I was like, I'm going to bet on myself. So I became an agent, quit my job 2 weeks, became an agent. And then August of 2020, I purchased my first rental property. So I brought a 5-unit at that particular time. My mindset was, yes, I'm doing good as far as sales, but I need to be able to go ahead and have ownership. Ownership and this passive income is what's going to keep me going. And you can't really take that away. When I have ownership and I'm getting passive income, it's not like I can get fired and it's all lost. I only lose that if I'm able to not manage it correctly. So that was my thinking. I was making a lot of money as an agent. So I was like, man, what if one day this just goes away? So even though I'm in the midst of making a lot of money, I'm like, what if this just goes away? So I'm getting nervous. I was like, all right, let's take this money, put it into buildings. Let's build something on the side here. And then it's been like this ever since.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that pops out, the first property was a 5-unit.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
that's cool. I mean, like most people I see, it's like single family property, duplex, quadplex, and then you build up. But that 5-unit, I mean, like what was that like, in terms of the process?
I was an agent, so it was an off-market deal. I was trying to sell it to someone else. So we had it under contract. I'm still thinking as an agent. I knew I was ready to take the leap, but a 5-unit, I wasn't thinking that. Just like you said, I was thinking more duplex, triplex, something along those lines, and where I can get a regular type of loan, like a conventional loan. So when that opportunity came up, it went under contract. The appraisal price, they did a book appraisal, so they never went to the property. It came in lower. The buyer and seller couldn't agree upon the price to change the price or add money into it. So throughout the process, the buyer was like, bro, I can't believe you found this deal. This is a great deal, so on and so on. So he doesn't want the deal. It crumbles. So I'm thinking to myself, I can pitch this to more people, or can I take it down? I know a commercial lender from doing transactions before with other investors. Let me reach out to him. I reached out to him. He said, Gus, you're good. I got all my documentation in. Then I called the seller. I was like, hey, I'm interested in buying it. So I got it for a little bit cheaper because now there was no commission involved in it. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for it. Now, I say it like it was easy. I was shitting my pants the whole time because I never, at this time, I'm living at she's my wife now. She was my girlfriend at that time. When I quit my job, I moved in with her. So I'm like, okay, I'm about to own a big ass building. This is crazy. But as soon as I closed, I tried to property manage for like a week. The toilet broke. I went in there and the lady was looking at me to fix it. I don't know jack diddly. I'm not handy at all. I'm more of the guy behind the scenes, the money guy. So when she looked at me, I was like, okay, property management is not my thing. So I ended up getting a property manager. It was scary, but it was the best decision. Let me not say the best decision. It's one of the best decisions I ever made in my life by getting that building. And then I got addicted to it. And then I brought a whole bunch of properties after.
That's awesome.
Appreciate it.
I want to ask, let's see, maybe Lauren can go. What's the hardest sacrifice you still make today?
Not traveling
Hmm.
as much as I would want to. No, I mean, I feel like today at this point, the sacrifices that I make don't feel like huge sacrifices because I've gotten to a place where I get to live kind of where I want to live now, and I get to eat the food that I want to eat now. And like, that's all that I really care about is like the food that I eat and being able to live in a nice place. But I sacrificed that for a very long time, like lived in a not nice place and was like cooking, not going out to eat, making all of those sacrifices. So I feel like now the sacrifices that I make are minimal, and I don't even know if I see them really as sacrifices.
Before Joel answers that, I do want everyone to know that's just tuning in now, like Casey and Harrison Trade Better. Lauren's streaming also on her YouTube channel. So go check it out there. Subscribe, like, she finally got it up and running. I actually made it super easy for her too. I sent her the thumbnail, the description. I said, just copy and paste it, just throw it in there. So yeah, she got it up and running. But Joel, is there anything, what was it? If it was the hardest sacrifice you still make today?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, like, just to get to the nitty gritty, like, sometimes you're just tired, right? You have a long day. I mean, I've got young kids. Like, it's just so easy to go to Chick-fil-A and feed the little fuckers and not have a big mess at the house. And so, like, okay, I could go do this and make it easy, or I could try to save a little extra money and just do dinner at home. But that's just the very first thing that pops in my brain. It's just like, it's just so easy to go out because, like, there's two of them, and what they're going in different directions. They're making a mess, and you're cleaning one thing up, and the next thing is getting messed up. So it's just a constant battle. It's just like, we're just gonna go somewhere and just make it easy and make it be a mess for somebody else to clean up. And yeah, so that's part of my journey right now.
Mm-hmm.
Gus,
Yeah.
for you?
Joe, how old are your kids?
I got two boys that are 6.
Okay, so I got two smaller ones, 4 and 3. So when you talked about the mess and all that, I was having flashbacks from yesterday. So for me, the sacrifices, I guess this is going to sound cliche, is most things I'm doing, I'm thinking about my kids. So I'm not really thinking about me. The only thing I feel like I'm doing right now is jumping on some of these podcasts with you, because I feel like that's like fun now, and that's my time to get away. One kid's at school, the other kid's with mom upstairs. So I'm like, okay, this is fun. But other than that, when money's coming in, and I'm always thinking worst case scenario, how can I set up these two young kids to be put in a good place? So I'm sacrificing vacations for me and my wife, for us as a family. I guess some people may look at it, that's not sacrificing, but it is to agree. I would like to go with my wife a lot more trips. You know what I mean? But we're doing it as a family. So most things I'm doing now is for them. So I'm sacrificing things that I may want. And then I make myself feel bad about wanting those things, because I want to set my kids up and make sure they're good when I'm dead and gone.
But you're not sacrificing Vegas, right? You will be attending Vegas.
I will be in Vegas in 2027 for sure. There's not a question in my mind.
Damn it. I also want to give Brady Morgan a shout out. There is his YouTube channel in the chat. Also, go check him out there. He's in Wyoming. He also just published his book, so it's also on Amazon, Never Sell. So you can check it out there. I think his most recent video, he actually kind of breaks down what the book is about, and see if that strategy for investing works for you. But yeah, I think definitely travel is the one thing. I know Stan travels quite a bit, so that's one thing he seems like he's not willing to sacrifice. But so I think the travel is definitely the sacrifice for myself right now. I definitely want to travel more, but it just doesn't fit a lot of things right now. And I don't know. I mean, for Lauren, it could be. I don't know if, like you said, kids is not in your future, but for some people that they may look at that as your sacrifice, right? Because you want to do these other things, and that's what you're sacrificing, right, on that front. Mm-hmm. Stan said he'll be there in Vegas too. So Stan's always been saying he's not going to be able to make it, but he says 2027 he'll be there.
27.
Yeah, so Stan will be there in 2027 with Gus, and we'll see if Gus will be on stage speaking or something in 2027.
One thing you said to Lauren about, I don't know her story, so let me say this first and foremost, but the sacrifice as far as kids, I didn't want to have kids early on, because my parents had kids early on. So I knew that was something that I was not doing. I wanted to have kids later on. So I had my first kid, I was 34, 35 years old. And I was more in my opinion, in a secure situation compared to what my parents had me. And I was floating from house to house, and Dad was working 2 to 3 jobs because he's still trying to get his career going. So I think that's a sacrifice to the degree itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And who knows, I might have kids someday, although if I haven't done it now.
But shoot.
You never know how life meanders.
That's true. That is very true.
So I do want to touch on what Gus just brought up. So for me, though, that's also why I'm doing what I want to do, and not to make my son's life easy, but make him set up to a point where if he wanted to have a family younger, he'd have some foundation, because I may be doing it from a selfish standpoint, as if I would be a grandparent at some point, I'd want to be as young as possible, I guess, in a sense, right? To play with my grandkids. So that's kind of where my mindset too is I'm not trying to make his life easy, but if I can give him some sort of foundation to where it's not a stressful thing of having kids at a young age, like he's not worried about money or that's kind of where me selfishly is kind of where I'm trying to build things also. Let's see. I see Coach Nick here, my weekly Saturday Bitcoin wrap up. So yeah, HODL out there, Bitcoin taking a beating the last I saw.
Yeah, but at the same time though, M2 money, silver and gold hitting all-time highs, and
Lost into the ether.
oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, what are you saying? You getting banned from YouTube?
I
man.
know, instantaneously, like no more Bitcoin talk. But like a little bit of a shakedown before I think a little bit of a liftoff. I think Bitcoin's got some room to
All right,
lift off here.
on that point though, I don't know if Gus and Lauren have any Bitcoin, but like they've always, oh, now we're gonna go off the rails. Hold on, we have a special guest joining us. Hold on, how am I gonna fit her in?
You won't go off the rails.
What is with the color?
Oh, wow.
What is going on there?
I'm colorful today.
Oh my goodness! Hold on.
Are we in a
here.
nightclub? What is going on
What
here?
Yeah,
is-
my house is the nightclub.
Oh jeez.
I don't
Well,
know what the color is, but it must be on my end, probably not your end.
Well,
Do you
all
not
right.
accept me?
No, I
What's
have.
your problem?
See here. Okay, everything's out the window. Scripts out of here, so we can just talk about whatever's now. But
I'm
Monica,
just joining. I want to just hear.
yes, thanks for joining us. I did quickly want to bring up though real fast. So Joe, you brought up Bitcoin, or maybe I did. Maybe I did, but they always kind of said digital gold, right? But it's not following gold's pattern in a sense, right? So maybe what type of asset is it really, or how would you classify it? Maybe.
I think it's an important question, and I think it's going to continue to evolve. But I mean, it's essentially it's money supply. Like some of the literature out there is basically talking about Bitcoin becomes the money supply. I mean, like if it all falls through some of these pathways, you're talking about the total wealth of the entire globe in the 300 trillion. Like you're talking about digital currency. I mean that's one lane on it. So I mean I think it takes years to get there. But we were seeing Graham Stephan and other people getting out of real estate to go buy Bitcoin, and there's a finite supply of Bitcoin. You can find more gold, you can find more silver, you can find more other things. So I think it's an interesting topic and an interesting conversation to see how things evolve. But yeah, at the end of the day, the institutions, they want to scoop up as much as they can, so they're going to shake people out.
All right. So Monica, Gus is agent, investor. I always say Maine, right? No,
Yes.
where are you? Yes,
Yeah,
Maine. And Monica
Nice.
is a lender out in Idaho.
I like your posters behind your back.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys got to follow each other. Monica is putting out some amazing content, and some kind of party in her pants was her most recent one, or
Oh
something.
my God.
Was her
Not
most.
my pants.
Well, whatever your reel was talking about some kind of party in your
guy's
pants. Oh, something that I don't know, but I'm just saying that's what you put out on your reel, and it was entertaining. And definitely.
Does this have to do with the Tate conversation? Am I missing something here?
No, but someone did say that Monica was hanging out with Tate when her background was all over.
Joe said that.
Jovi said
I don't
she's
see the
hanging out.
comments. How do you guys see the comments?
Are you on your phone?
No.
Oh,
There's a chat on the screen. It says chat. Click that.
Yeah. So there's
there it goes.
There you go.
Imagine that.
So Hyder does want to say Bitcoin is sound money, despite what any of the ignorant claim. Janitor on Fire likes to say, remember NFTs? And then Hyder is recommending read the Bitcoin white paper. I think he put it in the post, the chat before, but to get a better understanding and realize why it's sound. But yeah, so I don't know, Monica, we are talking about a post that Gus had on Facebook and in school, kind of talking about sacrifice in a sense, or him saying he's not out of touch. He paid the price, but people may only see him, how he's somewhat successful now, right? Do you kind of get that out? We're kind of also talking about maybe your circle of friends that has changed over time, right? So I don't want to say how old you are or how young you are, but like, do you probably have the same circle of friends from, like your college days?
I have same friends. Like I just went on my ski trip with a friend that I've had since middle school. I keep
Wow.
my people. I'm a keeper.
Monica does not have a YouTube channel yet, Jeff, but she does have an Insta. I don't know if I have it here.
You can follow my kids as they play video games. It's very
Oh.
exhilarating.
Monica let you know Joel closed the refinance. Just let you know he's doing business also. So he got something closed. They
That's so mean.
No, I'm saying they said they in the chat they said I signed my docs, just letting Joel know. So
That's good. Yeah, I closed one yesterday as well. Not a refi purchase.
Okay, so going back a little bit. So Gus, let's see. Maybe this. What excuse do you hear that immediately tells you someone isn't serious?
Yeah, but if it starts like that, that tends to tell me that they're about to make an excuse, or there's something blocking them for even seeing what I'm trying to tell them. So when I hear the yeah, but I know things are going south. So that's it for me.
What about maybe Joe or Monica? Like if someone reaches out to you folks, maybe talking about lending or getting, for investing, is there something that they might say that they're not too serious possibly? Maybe Monica can go first.
No, you should let Joel go first.
All right, Joe, go first.
I mean, when you hear "Let me get back to you," I mean, you know that's probably not very likely.
I said that to somebody yesterday. A lender.
Let me get back to you.
I had no
The
intention.
wrong
I was
lender,
like,
Lauren.
yeah.
Flavio, my window because the heat is turned up. Oh, that's. I was
Yeah.
like, wait. Jeff received approval from his underwriting today. All right.
Wait, are you not going to let Monica answer the same question? So you deflected from Monica back to me, so I can answer the question. Now you're not going to let her.
So Monica has to answer now. Like, how do you know maybe when we can say a client, I guess, or someone reaches out that maybe they're not too serious about getting into investing, maybe, or buying real estate, or how would you feel that out?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just obvious. I don't know. I don't think that I can hear a specific thing because sometimes I think someone's more sure than they're not, and then they're like, "Oh, it's just I'm still looking" or whatever. But I don't know.
Well, how about we flip this then in something in more. So if a man reached out to you and asking you, how do you know if they're maybe interested or not interested?
They're always interested. Men are interested in women, period. It's not just about me. They're just interested.
All
so.
right. Let's see. Stan says, excuse I hear from people who don't want to start is claiming every single opportunity is a scam or an asset that will crash for sure.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, I forgot. I was bringing it up before Monica jumped on, but Gus, do you invest in anything besides real estate?
Yeah, my brother convinced me to invest in some coin called Floki. I don't know much about it. I know when I put my $7,000 into it, a little over under a month, it went down to like $100. So I was like, I don't want to hear anything more about investing in these bullshit things that you're telling me. But since then, it's fluctuated up. I remember it got up to 25,000. I was thinking cash out. He was like, look at the bigger picture. It's like real estate, and then it went back down. So I'm not real big into it. I'll stick to what I'm good at, and that's real estate. Maybe down the line, I'll play with it a little bit more and get more serious about it.
Lauren, I know you are primarily real estate, right?
Mm-hmm. I do have a little bit of like Bitcoin and random other coins, but I don't like actively do that. And I had bought it like probably like 4 years ago, and just I never even look at it.
Yeah. How's the boutique hotel going?
It's going well. I have a meeting today with somebody who works with the city to get um, parking spaces, an exemption for parking spaces. So that's like the biggest limiting factor is like there would be like $400,000 worth of like cut and fill for parking spaces that we just don't have room for on the lot and or the money to invest in. And so he's going to try and get me an exemption. So I'm meeting with him, and that'll kind of be the like make or break of whether this thing is really possible, is if we can get an exemption on parking.
All right. Gus, if you had to rewrite this post softer to reach more people, would you?
No. I think what I'm going to start doing is focusing on people who are like-minded, as far as, if they're out there that think the same way as that I do. I think now that you find your fan base, you can start building upon them and getting people who think how you think, instead of trying to cater to everyone. So I think, some lines have been drawn, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Monica, Joel, maybe you guys can touch on quickly too. Has business picked up for you guys once the calendar flipped to 2026? So it looks like Monica is shaking her head. So really?
It's overwhelming. Yeah. It's not fun. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, it's just a lot, I kind of took like a half day on Monday, and then I paid for it dearly. I was disclosing people at midnight last night.
Are they, if you don't mind me asking, are you guys lenders like FHA and conventional lenders, or are you
Everything.
okay, everything?
Yeah, like I know you have a lot of DSCR clients, and so do I. So like all primary residence investor.
Are you seeing refis
Mhm.
or not? A lot, or
I don't see that many. Are you seeing a lot?
I mean, the stuff that I'm seeing is people pulling cash out of
Yeah.
rental properties. That's
Gotcha.
the majority of the refis I see.
That's good to know. Yeah, it just seems like in general, yeah, the housing is starting. It's just waiting. I think. I think you can feel it bubbling up, and it's gonna pop soon, and people are getting excited, ready to make some moves and positioning to get cash available or look for opportunities out there. You can kind of really sense it out there. So even like for you, Gus, in your area, is you kind of get that sense in your market right now, like people are on the sideline just positioning themselves to make some moves.
yeah, a lot of investors the last 2 years have been on the sidelines waiting for, the cliche people to get fucked over, and so they could pick up the scraps. I don't have that same approach. My approach is, whether the market's great or the market's down, there's still opportunity, and there's still deals out there. And what opportunities I can bring to my banker is just going to strengthen our relationship that we have for when things do pop. I'm going to get, better advantages than the ones that set out. So that's my way of thinking about it.
All Nighter Hider is saying investing is incredibly personal. If Bitcoin doesn't fit one's needs, that's not a knock on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is sound, like I typed. Neither you nor I are able to change the computer code without consensus on a decentralized network. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I definitely know a lot of people that are doing well investing in Bitcoin. Um, so let's see.
It's my first line of defense right there.
Let's see. Ooh, okay. Maybe we'll wrap things up kind of with this message. So Gus, do you worry your message pushes people away who actually need the help
No.
most?
Oh, no.
What was the last part? I couldn't hear that.
Do you worry your message pushes people away who actually may need the help most?
No, because if they really need the help, aren't they going to find avenues to go ahead and get that help? Maybe that message will push them away from me, but they may go to someone they may know and get that advice that may take them to the next level, or take them to find out of a way to solve whatever situation they're in. I think when you're trying to get a solution for something, there's many ways to get to the top of the mountain. Some people are direct. Some people are great with their words. Some people finesse people into thinking a certain way. So my message with that particular post was a direct one, and that's how I'm going to go at it.
All right. If everyone hasn't had a chance, go check out Gus on Facebook and see his posts, comment on it, and kind of even go through the comments. I think you learn a lot when you kind of go through the comment section a lot of times. I didn't even realize, but someone on Instagram, Fire on Fire Investing, I think they said what they might hear from a lot of people is, I lost money on investments before and not sure if I can do this again. So that's what holds a lot of people back. They've invested something or they lost money and they said this is not for them, right? So I think most of us, I know Monica's not so much in the real estate side. She's more, she likes to lend, but I think for a lot of us, I think safe to say we've all lost money in real estate to some extent, right? And I think that's just what was Monica's face on that one. I don't know, maybe she has too, but I think for a lot of people that invest in real estate, I think that's why it's a lot of people avoid it compared to other investing in asset classes, right? Would you guys agree to that real estate probably provides a lot of headaches, especially in the beginning?
Mhm.
Joel, are you still dealing with some of those? I think, right? I know you
Yeah.
went, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not smooth like some other asset classes. So definitely has some struggles out there. But I think Zuber talks about it too. But it's probably the quickest way. Well, not quickest way, but um, in 10 years' time, it could leverage it to build the most wealth to some extent, right? Instead, because you can leverage real estate, right? So it does provide some headaches, but it allows you to leverage a lot more. Um, oh,
Does
here's a. Oh, go
does
ahead, Gus.
Joe, do you favor stocks or real estate? I know it's good to have both, but which one do you favor the more?
Well, I mean, I feel like it depends on the full picture, right? Like I'm in sales, I work a lot of hours. I don't have the capacity to manage properties. I don't have the capacity to day trade. And so the idea of having, stuff, buy it, have a property manager run it, and then just let time do its thing on properties. It's the same thing with stock, and having multiple lanes going, I think, is important because the markets are going to ebb and flow, and they're going to have their own cycles of ups and downs. And so I think back to Mark's point about real estate. I mean, when you talk about leverage, I mean, you can buy a property, put 5% down. I mean, I know so many people who are sitting on properties that they bought 10 years ago and the rate's at 3.25. 2012, 2013, 2016, those were the years back in the day where the lowest rates that I'd ever seen was at 3.25. And then COVID happens and you see rates in the twos, which is an anomaly. But I mean, to be able to buy something at 5% down as a primary and then turn into rental, to me, that's the best possible path for the everyday person to be able to build wealth if you can do that multiple times. And I've seen people do it. So yeah, I mean, because when you buy stock, I mean, if you buy $10,000 of stock, right, you've got $10,000 of stock. If you take that same $10,000, you could buy a $300,000 house, and now that $300,000 house is appreciating at 3%. And so that leverage, I mean, I don't think it's talked about as enough. I mean, obviously there's risk in it, but that leverage is massive.
Before we just wrap things up with some maybe stuff about Vegas and things like that, quickly, I want to ask, the two lenders, Monica and Joel, what's your guys' thoughts about them possibly change some of the rules with the 401k for people to use to purchase, but I don't know if it's first time home, but purchase real estate? Either of you?
Yeah, I mean, my initial thought was the rules are already in place. You're going to have your tax hit and you're going to have your 10% penalty. I guess they're talking about getting rid of the 10% penalty. And to me, it's a nothing burger. I don't think it's going to make that big of a difference either way.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say, yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
this is the last thing. But some of the retirement plans don't allow you to pull money out unless it's like a hardship. So I think having the ability to do it for home purchase, no matter what, I think would be helpful. But I do think there are some plans that don't allow it for whatever reason. But the 10% part, I think, is just really kind of a nothing burger.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna say is I have people that just do it anyways, and it doesn't stop them. So So maybe the hardship one, if that changes, maybe that would be different. But I have people, if they're going to use it, they're going to use it, and it hasn't stopped them.
All right. Well, I do see Dion tuning in, so everyone, welcome. Say hi to Dion. I think he's still on his trip. He had a great live stream yesterday. He brought his fiance Chesala on, and that was a lot of fun. So I think a lot of people are hoping he brings his fiance. Uh, Lauren says her computer died, so that's why she commented on her own stream that, "Oops, her computer died." So I'm not sure if she'll be able to jump back on, but it's a perfect time. We'll probably wrap things up soon. But Monica, no chance. I know Gus won't be able to make it to Vegas. I know you're gonna supposedly have a ski trip going on, right? So no chance of setting up.
Supposedly.
Well, I mean, you were the one that brought up the whole speed dating thing, and then you're not going to be present for it, right?
Joel's going to be there, and he's going to head it now.
Oh, okay.
He said he would. You
Oh.
said I will head it. I just won't partake.
I'll be busy hanging out with Latanya.
So go
He has
check
a
out.
girlfriend now.
Yeah, go check out Joel's Facebook, and you can see his post with his new girlfriend on there. So and congratulate him.
Is she out of the hospital?
No, she's still got her sutures on.
All right. Gus, anything else you want to wrap things up with, or?
I was going to ask Joel a question.
Yeah.
Being where you're at right now, and I just hear you have a girlfriend, is that difficult?
Is it?
Where you're at in your career as far as meeting someone who's into you and not into maybe your status of what you've already created?
Well, I mean, I think I'll just stick with my divorce. A lot of things did not go well for a period of time, and so I think the vision and plan of building something bigger than yourself to be able to have real estate and entrepreneurship and going, it does take a lot of time and energy and focus outside of the normal day, and where you're not on the same page with your partner about that. I mean, it's so hard, and it can be draining and demoralizing. And so that's something, once you're in the game, once you're locked in and you say I do, and then things deviate from that, it's just so hard, because you start to see things unravel in real time. It's like, what do you do? And especially when you have kids, like, I don't know, it's very challenging. So I mean, you live and you learn. You try to do things a little bit differently, but at the end of the day, like, when you meet somebody, you still never know. I mean, they're going to show you what they want to show you. You never know until you get down the road and things happen. So it's just hard.
What about you, Gus? Is you and your wife kind of on the same page on the investing side, or she doesn't care too much for it?
She doesn't care about real estate, to be honest with you. All this came. I met her. I was working at the bank, so we were planning a whole different type of life, and then I became an agent. The money started coming in, and she's very, how can I put this, humble. She'll live in a small house. That doesn't mean, she's fine with that. And I would say my dad was more of a fancy cars, fancy house, that type of person. So I have a little bit of that in me, a tiny bit. So, that's what I would just say. She's getting equipped to, now that we're in a better situation, on some of the things that I want, compared to when I didn't have the money, the things I would settle for. I'll put it that way.
I think
I don't
that's
know.
it. No, yeah. We'll just wrap it up then with Monica then, real quick. Is it, just I see Monica a lot on social media. That's why. So is that difficult for you to put yourself out there on the business side and do a lot of social media content? Like,
do I enjoy it?
yeah, I mean, you hate it? Well, you're
Yeah.
great at it.
Debatable, but you don't always do what you want to do or like to do, right? You just do what you need to do.
True, but I don't
Gets me
think
deals.
that's no. I mean, that it works, right? I mean, like I said, I think you have a great following, and you put out a lot of good content there, just like Joel and even Gus, right? So we got to get Gus streaming next time on his YouTube channel. We finally got Lauren to do that, and then Monica will be next. So we got Gus next in line, and Monica will get her channel set up after that.
Is Monica an investor? Or Monica, are you an investor
I do some investing, yeah.
in real estate?
Hmm.
She doesn't really like it though.
Well, I mean, I have, like we've talked about, I have the one rental, and then I guess I'm saying investing because I do the private money lending. I make money off of that. I have returns every month. What I don't like is the rental. I just don't. I mean, I'm going to probably sell this one. It's just not my cup of tea. But it's not because of the I lose money or I can't hold on to it. It's I think my money can grow faster. I've said it before in the private money lending world, and I don't like being a landlord. Like I don't have enough properties for me to justify hiring somebody. I'm super busy. I work easy 10-hour days, most days, 7 days a week. I've got kids. I'm a single mom. So, I mean, it's like, I just don't, I mean, like even yesterday and my renters aren't bad, but I'm just like, oh gosh, just take care of it already. Like, I mean, I've said this to them before. I'm like, just call the plumber, send me the bill. Like, I don't need to hear the paragraph. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't have the hours. I just don't have the hours. So, you know, I'm up at like 6 a.m. No, I'm up before that. Yeah, I'm up before that. And I'm working past midnight. So,
Well, and you have your commercial property, right?
oh yeah, and I have commercial property. Yeah.
When you say private money, and just because I'm not 100% sure how that works, I would like to ask a question. So is that your own money, or do you find people who have money and then you're able to put it together with a potential investor?
Most of the time it's my own money. I've had one deal where basically we were trying to raise more capital. It was more of a last minute thing where he was going to go through a bank. It wasn't working out. So we had a certain amount of money, but it was like a couple of $1 million. And so we were trying to raise capital for that. But usually it's just my own money.
Yeah, that's something I'm definitely interested down the line.
You should do it.
Yeah.
You should definitely do it. It makes me good returns every month. I get my money back. It's pretty safe. I mean, I don't lose money on it. I mean, if something goes sideways, I can always develop the land that we're doing it with. And so I'm working with a different developer, and we just find people who we can give better deals to. It's so great. It's so great. I mean, I'm going to take my money after I sell this house and just roll that in and make a lot more off of it. The same thing with my building. I'm going to have to sell it and do like a 1031 on that, but.
So rapid Dion is saying yes, one rental would make me want to quit too, but 8 properties set me free. So I think that's where the struggle is for a lot of people, right? Is getting over that hump of realizing that to get to a certain number definitely can help. I'll talk to you off camera about something though, Monica, with property management. But Joe, what goal?
Can I add on to that? So the very first multifamily that I purchased was in 2017. It was a quadplex, and I was at the property with the owner, and he's like, double my age at the time. I think I was in my late 20s, maybe. I forget how old, 33 maybe. He said, hey, my best advice to you is, I got one and thinking that I would add more and over 10 years, I never did. So owning one is not worth it. So either get 10 or 20 or don't have any at all.
Or don't have any.
Yeah.
Dion, if you're still here, you're gonna have one more reason not to wanna come visit me in Hawaii. But Dion definitely doesn't want to come here. He thinks people don't like white folks out in Hawaii, so he doesn't want to come visit here.
Do they not?
No, it's they're so.
So they don't. Your face just said it all.
I don't want to get into that, but it definitely.
I'm okay with it.
No, like how. So basically, right? The land has been stolen, right? The land was stolen from the Hawaiians, so there's a lot of animosity there. It goes back, but definitely, I would say that. Just like anywhere, when things start getting expensive, when people start struggling, when costs, right, you're pointing the fingers certain places. So definitely, the tourists who bring in a lot of money to the state, but people want to now point the finger like they're the problem, right? So, but then at the same time, when you keep probably raising your kids and they just keep hearing, the tourist this, tourist that. you're gonna have kids that grow up that are probably gonna hate certain people, right? Or
Have
frown
some
upon.
prejudices.
So on Maui, actually, just the other or yesterday, I believe, some tourists were driving, and anyways, there was an incident, and there's kind of an altercation. They threw like the water, the hydro flask. It broke the tourist vehicle, the front windshield. But anyways, the tourists were like, "Man, we've been to Detroit, New Orleans. We've been to a lot of shady places, but we've never been treated like this. Like it just, yeah." And it just like they're like, just ruined their experience, and never gonna want to go to Hawaii again. And
That's crazy.
yeah,
Mark, anytime I go, they ask me if I am Hawaiian.
really.
Yeah, I
Oh,
get
see?
asked, and I'm like, no, but well, I remember one time there's something, and you probably can elaborate on this more, or I don't know what it is, but if it's like island to island, but there's like a certain tax or something that you can a break, like a citizen something, and so they asked me about that, and I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, they probably ask if you're a Kama'aina discount, which is like, yeah,
Something, yeah.
yeah.
What is
So
that?
we'll have the, yeah, like a local, like live there, local, get a. So we'll have everyone spell that out next time as the prize for the giveaway.
It's
Um,
ChatGPT.
yeah. Well, the other, there was a prize. We did a giveaway for whoever could pronounce the Hawaii state fish. So next time we'll do that. If you guys want to look it up, if you got pronounced that, then we had a prize giveaway. I'm thinking your answer is yes. They may not like Dion there. I
But
don't know.
it's
If you
also,
hang with me, you'll be fine.
it's also how the person acts when they go over there. So they may have these thoughts before people go over there, but if those people tend to be cool and chill and relax, I think they're going to be more open to them. That's how I felt when I moved to an area that I was the outlier. You just, at the end of the day, I'm into people. I don't care about races or anything along those lines. If you're good people, you're good people at the end of the day. Once you could, and this is what makes you a good salesman, in my opinion. Once you could get over that, the sky's the limit.
No, I absolutely agree. But I think it's just more that when you keep, when you have young kids and you're raising them and they keep hearing you saying these things, oh, because I can't afford this because there's all these tourists now, or they're building these hotels for, I think your child just grows up to have
Mhm.
this kind of like, these are the people that are holding me back, right? So I think that's kind of where it stems from, right? But yeah, come message me, hang out with me, you'll be fine. We don't go to the Badlands like Lion King. I always make that joke. There's that, looking over and like, this is the Badlands. Don't don't go over there and you'll be fine. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Monica, I'll talk to you real quick off camera. But everyone, thanks for tuning in. Gus, thanks for joining us this week. It's always fun. Wednesday.
Yeah, no problem.
I'll be back possibly Thursday. Tomorrow I got to check with Justin Canberra. But Friday for sure with Emily Lopez. Everyone, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you folks on Friday.
See y'all.